The enormity of Operation Desert Shield makes it the largest deployment ever seen by today's modern Army, the largest since World War II. Good evening, I'm Gail McCabe. I've just returned from Saudi Arabia, where I followed in the footsteps of the advanced elements of 7th Corps. Tonight, I'd like to take you to the Persian Gulf. We'll see how 7th Corps troops are getting the job done. We'll meet some of the people, and we'll see how Christmas is celebrated by American soldiers in a Muslim world. We start at the airfield in Saudi Arabia. As the sun rises over the Persian Gulf, American military aircraft prepare for another turnaround trip, bringing in the next contingent of 7th Corps soldiers. At the ports, ships as big as skyscrapers head back for more of massive amounts of machinery, all needed for possible combat. These are the advanced elements of 7th Corps. The sheer magnitude of the operation is awesome.
We're pouring them into the ports. The conditions there are austere, but they're adequate. They're being fed hot food. They get showers every day. The latrine facilities are in place. But the most important thing of all is the attitude of the soldiers. Their morale is high, their spirit and their enthusiasm is unbelievable.
In a brief but inspiring ceremony, 7th Corps made it known that they are here.
Clearly, the 7th Corps is undoubtedly the world premier heavy force deployed here in the theater. Everybody knows that, recognizes it, and I certainly appreciate it.
It's been a great team effort within the Corps. It was a great team effort to get us here from U.S. Army Europe, and it's been a great teamwork effort here by 3rd Army to receive us here in Saudi.
It was just a short while ago we saw the colors being cased for the move from Germany. Today, the 7th Corps flag takes its place with the other unit colors in support of Operation Desert Shield. The transition to the desert isn't limited to soldiers. Every piece of equipment arriving to the Persian Gulf undergoes a transition of their own. For over 40 years, American forces stationed in Germany operated in the color of the land, basic green. Deployment to Saudi Arabia is bringing on a new color requirement, basic brown.
And our mission here is to paint the tanks that are coming down from Germany. They're coming down, as you see, they're coming down forest green, and they're coming down, we're putting the Kark paint and the sand camouflage on the tanks.
The crews are a combination of a National Guard unit out of Florida and volunteers from the Army Materiel Command in Alabama. The hours are long and the work is constant. 440 units were repainted in just the last 2 hours. There's one thing that can be said for Saudi Arabia. There's a lot of dust. And anybody can tell you can find it in anything, especially on these new brown tanks.
Dust is a real problem. We've got a maintenance problem. The hose lines are wearing out, and as the equipment comes in, we're having a little problem getting the dust off the vehicles before we can paint them. And maintenance on the equipment, we're constant downtime for to keep the equipment running because we're fighting the dust.
Running a paint shop in the desert is tough, with no time for the fine touch. Just enough time to get the job done and get the troops back on the road. The environment is proving to be a challenge throughout Operation Desert Shield. Every piece of machinery is fighting the battle of the dust. For the helicopters that play such an important role in a combat scenario, dust protection starts as soon as they arrive. Preparation is the key to the prolonged use of the combat equipment designated for Operation Desert Shield. Helicopters facing long hours of flight time in the desert are being equipped to handle the infamous dust of Saudi with special emphasis on the all-important rotors. The answer to the sand corrosion problem lies in polyurethane protective tape and an eye for perfection. Leewood Matthews is the inspector overseeing the quality control.
There's a lot of sanding due to the fact that a lot of the paint doesn't adhere to the chemicals that we're using to put the tape on the blades. Hopefully, preparation will make this tape stick a lot better. You know, when we first started the program, we found that a lot of paints were not cohesive with the promoter that we're using. So we have to take the paint off of it, then put the promoter on there, then put the tape on there so it'll stick a lot better. Then once you put the tape on there, we put the promoter on here and seals it to the blade there.
All helicopters pinpointed for desert flight will receive the painstaking detail work, ensuring that sand doesn't take a serious bite out of Operation Desert Shield. The best word to describe Operation Desert Shield is immense. Over 70,000 USAREUR soldiers are involved, and tons of combat equipment are arriving every day. For successful mission accomplishment, it takes a highly motivated team effort. An integral part of the 7th Corps team in Saudi are Department of Defense civilians. Over 250,000 American military members are now in Saudi Arabia, each with their job to accomplish for the mission. At what is now the 7th Corps Forward in Southwest Asia, mission accomplishment is augmented by the expertise of a handful of DoD civilians. Rosie Graham is the Corps Safety Manager. Mel Johnson handles the staff liaison duties. Herb Thomas locates and buys needed supplies from cots to computers.
It's nothing that I expected. Yeah, it's, I don't know, all the talk about the desert and so forth, I think we're real fortunate back here not to have to deal with those kind of problems. It's pretty cushy back here, really. And it's more of a business environment as opposed to a war environment, which I think is what the people up front are having to deal with.
When they asked me to come down, didn't hesitate, come down because I really care about what I'm doing, about the soldier in the field, about making sure that that soldier is able to do his job and to come home alive.
Well, I've been working around the military for a long time, and you just kind of feel like you're part of the team, civilian or green suitor. And wherever the team goes, I want to be with them.
They live with the troops, work 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, just like the soldiers.
It's really not so bad. The sleep on the cot, got a nice, it's like camping out, you know? It's just a month or so of camping out. Cold showers, yeah, but, you know, it's like I told you last night after the first shock, it's great.
I'm learning how to be a real team player, and a civilian and a female. You don't grow up being a team player, and I'm not too old to learn new tricks, and I'm learning.
They're civilians, but they'll be the first to tell you that mission accomplishment in Operation Desert Shield is everyone's business. The job of the Corps Safety Manager is enormous. Every aspect of the desert deployment comes under the scrutiny of this person. The operation covers vast areas filled with tens of thousands of troops. They, their equipment, and their very existence in the unforgiving Saudi desert comes under the eagle eye of the Safety Manager. She's probably one of the more unique personalities emerging in Operation Desert Shield. As the 7th Corps Safety Manager, Rosie Graham works in an atmosphere full of potential mishaps and possible tragedies.
The troops are doing really good. They're concerned about their welfare. They don't want to get themselves hurt doing something dumb. There's some, they want to get to the field in one piece so they can do their job.
Rosie Graham has been in the safety business for over 12 years, the last 3 of those working for 7th Corps. She's responsible for the safety record for the Corps as they deploy to Saudi Arabia, and it's something that she takes very personally. Work time to Rosie means checking out the conditions for virtually everything. Her desert days find her wherever soldiers are, looking, talking, asking questions, making suggestions, and just keeping a finger on the safety pulse of the Corps.
I've done things that I've never done in my whole life. I've never been on a port operation before. We have soldiers unloading boats, doing things that soldiers don't usually do in Europe. They're unloading boats, they're moving vehicles on a port. We're housing thousands of soldiers in warehouses and in tents, getting them ready to move out into the field. We are checking just about everything that's out there. What I try and do is I just try and go around to each of the areas to kind of show the safety flag, if you will. I get out there and I introduce myself. I say, hi, I'm Rosie Graham. I'm the Corps Safety Manager. How's everything going out here? Do you have any problems I can help you with? And they tell me about the things that they see. And I try and keep in the forefront safety. So they think about their welfare, their soldiers' welfare, and the people that are around them.
Rosie Graham's track record would be the pride of any safety manager. To her, the mission is to preserve the force in peace or war. We've seen them working. Now, after some holiday messages direct from the desert, we'll see how they live.
Hi, my name is PFC Barry. I'd like to say a special hello to Tony. I love you, miss you, be home soon. Season greetings. Hi, my name is Corporal Jimmy Atkins. I'm from Charlie 25 in New Ulm, Germany. I'd like to wish a happy holiday to my wife, Wanda, and my son, Jimmy Jr. Happy holidays.
Hi, my name is Staff Sergeant Greg Knable. I'm from Bravo 25, New Ulm, Germany. I'd like to say happy holidays to my wife and my son, Petra. I'll be home soon.
My name is Sergeant Pat Demetrius from New Ulm, Germany. I'm with Bravo 25. I'd like to say happy holiday to my wife, Tammy, and my son, Nicholas.
Hi, my name is PFC Kenneth Ray Spruer from New Ulm, Germany, Charlie 25 Field Artillery. I'd like to say hello to everyone back in Germany. Happy holidays.
Hi, my name is Staff Sergeant Brian Lawson down here in beautiful Saudi Arabia. I'd like to say hello to my wife, Jane, my son, Mark. Season's greetings, and have a happy New Year's.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Simon Guerra, Headquarters 25FA. I'd like to say hi to my wife, Letty, and my two sons, Gregory and Junior. I'd also like to say happy anniversary, baby, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's. I'll be home soon.
The military forces have maintained for the longest time that cleanliness is necessary for good discipline. But here in Saudi, where the temperatures are high and the dust is all over, cleanliness is not only a necessity, it's a luxury.
You get all dirty, you know, feel like a scumbag. Get cleaned up every day, feel better.
The sleeping arrangements for the troops waiting to move to the inner desert are necessarily tight, 600 plus in this warehouse. In other locations, familiar landmarks create a sense of home, as does the patio. Entertainment in these austere settings also takes on familiar forms. You've got cards, books. Yankee ingenuity created the weights, and the chest of drawers are empty MRE boxes. But the big winner is this electronic gizmo.
Greatest form of entertainment, basically, is these Game Boys. You have the Game Boys, and then I do a lot of PT. We go running a lot and play hacky sack. If you've ever been to the beach, you know what hacky sack is like.
I'm seeing a lot of make-do creativity. I'm seeing chairs, I'm seeing chest of drawers, I'm seeing weightlifting tools. What else is there out here?
Besides the chairs, we got the picnic tables we built outside. That was the first thing we made when we got here. There was absolutely nothing to sit on besides these cots, so you just got to make do with what you got. And then later on, the Japanese offered us TVs, and it's getting crazy. You know, next thing they're probably going to give us cars. I don't know, but.
There's got to be a good 700 to 800 soldiers in this building alone.
Yeah.
Does it ever get too loud, too much?
It does at nighttime. We get to playing cards, and you're trying to sleep. Or see, we work shifts. Half the building will unload one ship, and the other half will unload another ship. And so everybody's constantly sleeping, and you're always making noise on somebody else. So everybody's always trying to say, you know, keep it down so you can sleep.
But your morale is really high.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to be here fighting for my country. You know, anything I can do to help out.
Thousands of soldiers are already here, living and working in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and thousands more are expected. This is proving to be the biggest operation ever undertaken by the modern army of today. For the soldiers of 7th Corps, it's an opportunity to prove that they really are desert tough. The deserts of Southwest Asia are not known for their great abundance of water. One of the first facts of life deployed soldiers learn when they arrive in Saudi Arabia is the necessity of water. Soldiers deployed to the burning sand of Saudi quickly come to realize that the 1-liter water bottle is as a required part of their gear as the M16.
All day I faced a barren waste without the taste of water. Cool water. Old Dan and I with throats burned dry and souls that cry for water. Cool, clear water.
The massive water bill flowing down the throats of American soldiers or used in washing away the sticky dirt is being paid for by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for me and you? Clear water. The nights are cool and
the total H2O meter count can't even begin to be tabulated yet.
But But with the dawn I'll wake and yawn and care.
But with each soldier expected to drink an average of 2 liters a day, it's bound to be a big one.
Water, cool, clear water. Keep a moving, Dan, don't you listen to him, Dan, he's the devil.
In a land renowned for its oil, the treasure of water keeps the Army on the move.
Dan, can you see that big green tree where the water's running free and it's waiting there for me and you? The shadows sway and seem to say, tonight we pray for water, cool water.
Hi, my name is Staff Sergeant Steve Crow here in the wonderful land of the sand. I want to say hello to my wife, Merry Christmas, and to my sons, John and Reed. Be excellent to each other, dudes.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Benjamin G. from Neu-Ulm, Germany, 2-5, and I'd like to say holiday greetings to my lovely wife, Karen.
Hi, my name is Sergeant First Class Clayton Wixie, stationed out of Neu-Ulm, Germany. I'd like to say hi to my wife, Mercedes, all the kids. Season's greetings, and I'll see you soon.
I'm Staff Sergeant John Maloney, assigned to Task Force 3-34 from Neu-Ulm, Germany. I'd like to say hello to my wife, Carol, my daughter, Christy, and my Rockwilder Moko. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from Saudi Arabia.
My name is Sergeant Robert Johnson, and I'm from Charlie 2-5, Field Artillery, and I'd like to say hello to my lovely wife, Cynthia, and my good friends, Charles and Carla Ishmael, and I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I hope to see you soon.
Hi, my name is Donald Lee Motley from here in Saudi Arabia. I'd like to say hi to my wife, Mary, and my little girl, Latoya, and seasoned greetings to both of you.
Hi, I'm Sergeant Melvin Walker from the 240 S&S Company. I want to say hello to my wife, Dale, my daughter, Cantrice, and my son, Melvin, and I love you all, and I'll be home soon. God bless you.
The deployment is serious business, but we'd be very remiss if we didn't mention the fact that all this moving is taking place in a special time of year, the holiday season. It's not easy to get into the holiday spirit when you're stationed in a country where Christmas isn't recognized. For deployed soldiers waking up in a Muslim land, the official lack of Santa Claus is brought home every time the Islamic call to prayer echoes over the airwaves.
But perhaps the spirit of Christmas, the real meaning of Christmas, would be with each one of these soldiers, missing their loved ones admittedly, but there's a certain bonding amongst soldiers when they're away from home, in a field environment, especially in an operation like this, that is, you don't see every day.
Decorations can be found here and there, and always where there's not a chance of causing offense. Most of the Yuletide offerings are small: a card, a miniature tree, a Christmas stocking. The business at hand doesn't leave much time for the larger festivities, but what there is does seem to suffice.
Well, you talk about seeing artificial Christmas trees. Or a week ago, I saw a Christmas tree flown in from North Carolina, delivered to one of the soldiers. Very small one, but a real one. Christmas is going to be different this year. A lot of the commercialism that we know Christmas for back home in the States and in Germany will be missing this year.
What? There's no reindeer in Saudi Arabia, but that's okay because there's no chimneys either. What becomes apparent as you view the immensity of the Desert Shield operation is that for most of these soldiers, their Christmas present is the opportunity to serve their country. Times a day, the Muslim call to prayer reverberates from one end of the desert to the other. Saudi Arabia is a land where the only recognized religion is Islam, and Army chaplains are known as morale officers.
American forces understand the term chaplain. It's been a term that's been used throughout the history of the country, and as long as we're around the confines of American soldiers, we want to be referred to as chaplains. Those who have to operate and intermingle with the Saudi population on official business for the sake of good relationship, use the term morale officer.
For the soldiers of 7th Corps living and working in this Muslim land, religious services of their own denominations take place inside secure Army areas. These are in an extra room of a dining hall.
Religious services have been very well attended, extremely well attended, and also a lot of people, a lot of young soldiers and some elder soldiers who've been around for quite a while want to get a chaplain's ear and just to talk.
To pray in their own faith under the chaplain's guidance means a lot to these soldiers.
To me personally, it's almost a respite, as Father talked about this morning, almost a light in otherwise sometimes a dark situation. Being able to share with your fellow soldiers the joy in God's life and to really focus on the very good and wonderful things in our life are especially important to, especially this time of the year.
This is the third Sunday in Advent, so it's kind of nice to share that. I'm kind of thinking about my family, and a couple hours back in Frankfurt. Hopefully they'll be in church also, so it brings us closer together, I think, also, which is nice too.
Do not stifle the Spirit. Do not despise prophecies.
And your labor for that which satisfieth not.
The sermons speak of tolerance and understanding, and of the commitment needed by a combat soldier.
Heaven and earth are full of your glory.
The call to Southwest Asia is opening up a new world for many of these American-born and bred GIs.
Adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him.
Lifting their voices in a song of Christian faith also lifts the feeling of hope that there will be a peaceful end to the Gulf crisis.
Rocks, hills, and plains, repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy.
One of the best ways soldiers are getting the Christmas spirit is through the U.S. mail. Over 200 tons per day. That's what the mail handlers at this relatively medium-sized facility are taking in and putting out to the troops from 7th Corps. The work is hard, the hours long, and the environment is best described as hot and dusty.
We've been here since September 10th, and the mail load is getting worse right now. It started off pretty slow with packages. We had lots of letter mail. Now the packages are overcoming the letter mail. More packages than letters right now.
The holiday season doubles and even triples volume at any post office, and this desert operation is feeling the seasonal crunch just like their stateside counterparts, maybe even more due to the dramatic increase in troops. But there is a problem in getting quick turnaround in mail delivery.
Hardest problem is having people to address the mail correctly. They're putting just names and Operation Desert Shield, no units, sometimes no social security number, and which makes my job harder because I'm responsible to make sure they get their mail. And if I don't know what unit it is, I can't locate the person sometimes. Okay, they should always have the soldier's name, social security number, the unit, and then the APO number. And they should try to find out the right APO number from that soldier. Some of them are using a 09848, which is not a zip right now. It's a non-existent zip. It was supposedly, originally it started off to be an any soldier's zip, and that's where a lot of mail is coming to. So because of the fact with incorrectly addressed letters and packages, we have to return them to sender if I try to locate them and can't.
Our audience is in Germany. Are there special mailing instructions that they should heed?
No, same, all over. They have name, social security, unit, and correct zip.
On the other end of the mail system, picking up a box of holiday cheer or even just a letter.
Well, this letter's the best Christmas present I could have received, really, because it came from my wife, and it meant a lot to me. And it means a lot to the people. We don't get sometimes a lot of mail, but when we get it, it's very dear to us.
I hope you've enjoyed your trip to the Persian Gulf. I'd like to leave you with two very special holiday messages. The first is from Lieutenant General Frederick Franks, 7th Corps Commander, and the other is one of my personal favorites, and we've had tons of requests for it. It's the 12 Days of Saudi. It's sung by 1st Platoon, C Company, 249th Engineers. I'm Gail McCabe. Thanks for joining us. Merry Christmas.
Well, this is a special and challenging holiday season, not only for our soldiers here in Desert Shield, but also for our family members of soldiers who are back in 7th Corps in Germany. And I'd like to say, wish you all the very best during this holiday season and for the coming year.
On the first day of Saudi, my LT gave to me an unloaded M16. On the second day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 2 ice packs and an unloaded M16. On the third day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the fourth day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 4 EDUs, 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the fifth day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 5 MREs, 4 BDUs, 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the sixth day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 6 bottles of water, 5 MREs, 4 BDUs, 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the seventh day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 7 magazines, 6 bottles of water, 5 MREs, 4 BDUs, 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the 8th day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 8 pounds of C4, 7 magazines, 6 bottles of water, 5 MREs, 4 BDUs, 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the 9th day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 9 Claymore mines, 8 pounds of C4, 7 magazines, 6 bottles of water, 5 MREs, 4 BDUs, 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the 10th day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 10 squad members, 9 Claymore mines, 8 pounds of C4, 7 magazines, 6 bottles of water, 5 MREs, 4 BDUs, 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the 11th day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 11 different details, 10 squad members, 9 Claymore mines, 8 pounds of C4, 7 magazines, 6 bottles of water, 5 MREs, 4 BDUs, 3 entropines, 2 ice packs, and an unloaded M16. On the 12th day of Saudi, my LT gave to me 12 change of plans, 11 different details, 10 squad members, 9 Claymore mines, 8 pounds of C4, 7 magazines, 6